Aloha sports fans, and welcome to the Maui News Sports Report as we round into MIL winter sports seasons. My buddy and world traveler Bill, not here. He's in Orlando at the baseball winter meetings, hanging out with Mickey Mouse. So I am once again joined by Jordan Helly. And Jordan, one of your winter hats, if you will, includes being a basketball referee. And as we talk MIL basketball, we would be remiss if we didn't begin with the flagship program of MIL basketball, the Lahaina Luna girls.
Yeah, they've been very impressive. 14-1 already on the young season. They've played in tournaments on Oahu and the Big Island. Went 5-0 last week in 5 days. Finished Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with 4 wins on 2 different islands. They won 2 league games pretty comfortably against Maui High and Kinkekalike on Tuesday and Saturday, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning before they beat Kinkekalike in a league game back at the Civic Center. Beat Hilo Saturday morning by 11. They were a top 3 team in the state last year, and then beat defending Division I runner-up Konawaina by 9 on Thursday. Those two are probably top 5 teams in the state right now this year. Lahaina Luna looks very good, 14-1 as we mentioned overall, and probably the best team. Coach Ricard has commented on it in the paper a couple of times. Definitely his deepest team ever, and probably their best team since the 2010 state championship squad.
And their only loss, by the way, is to Kamehameha Kapalama at the end of a 6-game in 3-day run. So they are the real deal. In MIL Division II girls play, it's clear that it is Molokai and Seabury once again. The Farmers used a 20-0 run on Friday to take a 44-34 win over Seabury at the Seabury Wahine tournament, and those two are fun to watch. I expect they will be going back and forth all season.
Yeah, they played 6 times last year, split. Molokai kind of came out on top after winning the last 2 games in the tournament and the overall playoff. One of the best rivalries with those two athletic programs, whether it's football, volleyball, basketball. They've played some epic battles over the years, and this year I think will be much the same.
And in boys action, as always, the 43rd annual St. Anthony tournament kicked things off in earnest. Yes, I do know that there were some other preseason games here and there, but the Trojans tournament is always the official kind of kickoff to the MIL boys season, and I was very impressed, Jordan. I watched and covered the St. Anthony Waimea games. St. Anthony's starting lineup all returns from last year. We're talking about Preston Masanda, Keikaha Souza, Mike Fernandez, Nick Asuncion, and Colby Tam, and that is a solid MIL Division II starting lineup.
Yeah, it very much is. I think even more so impressive than their win over kind of a struggling Waimea squad. They had some very good moments against Kinkekalike, defending Division I champion, perennial state tournament participant in Baldwin last night. With those 5 guys on the floor, and they have some decent depth behind them as well. They've done a very good job, that coaching staff, a lot of alumni support kind of infused back into that program. With those 5 guys on the floor, all good ball handlers. Anytime you can have that at the high school level, you can do some things. And I think what was most impressive about St. Anthony is that they know how to play together very, very well. 3 or 4 of those guys have played 3-4 year starters. Masanda, particularly Mike Fernandez. And those guys, you can tell they play an up-tempo style of basketball. They're fun to watch, and I think they're one of the feel-good stories a lot of people will be interested in paying attention throughout the boys' basketball season.
Without a doubt, 2 wins all of last year. They won their first game this year. Very impressive. And in that tournament, Jordan, you got to see Baldwin, Kinkekalike, Maui High, and Seabury Hall. I noticed the Baldwin's got a lot of height.
Yeah, Baldwin's very, very tall this year. Couple of guys over 6'3", Josiah Maglente Tonu 6'5", not necessarily go-to scorers in the post, but guys with length can give you a lot of troubles defensively and on the boards. Teva Eldridge is their guy. He's their guy in the post. He'll put up some numbers. Baldwin kind of in that platoon system, so we're not sure just yet what their rotation will be as they parse it down going into the regular season schedule.
And a couple 20-point games for Teva in this tournament.
Yeah, and he's a guy that he'll mostly do it inside. He can step out a little bit, has some nice touch, often does a lot of his damage at the free throw line, drawing a lot of fouls. Kinkekalike, not quite as deep as they were last year. Talking to Coach Bill Naylor, he talked about working a lot of guys into the lineup, and I thought he did a very good job this weekend, kind of getting those new guys involved a lot. Of course, they're going to be centered around Chasey Watson-Bartlemy, returning Division I Player of the Year, and he's even better than he was last year. I think his shot's a little bit better from the perimeter. And anytime he needs to break pressure or handle the ball in the half court, he's more than comfortable doing it. Maui High's got some new faces. I think they'll be fun to watch, give some teams some strategic struggles with the kind of pace they like to play at. And then Seabury, a lot of length again, gave Kincaid Kalike a very tough game last night. I think they'll be kind of the top dogs of Division II once again.
In MIL soccer action, which has already started, things are really heating up already. We saw a 1-1 tie in boys play between two of the top teams in Kamehameha and Baldwin. I covered that match. I also covered an intriguing girls match. Tiana Lucas and Mary Lynn Johannes scored goals for Maui High in a 2-0 win over King Kekalike. That was a big win. In girls, I think it's going to be Maui High, Kamehameha, Baldwin, and King Kekalike. Those four are going to be fighting for two spots. In boys, Baldwin, Kamehameha, King K, and maybe the Lunas coming up on the outside.
Yeah, it always seems that boys and girls soccer's out of any sport throughout the MIL schedule are always the most competitive races with the most teams involved, and it makes for great viewership for the fans, competitive games for the kids. And I think you're right. I think Kamehameha probably with the slight edge in Division I girls. Maui High, Kincaid Kalike right behind them. Baldwin as well. Kamehameha had that big win over Baldwin this weekend. I know Maui High trying to get back to the state tournament. It's been a while for them. That'll be an intriguing story to follow. And then in boys, Baldwin and Kamehameha, a big opening game up at Kanaiaupuni Stadium over on Wednesday I believe it was, 1-1 draw. And I think both teams had a fair share of possession at one point or the other. It's kind of a tale of two halves and just kind of indicative how competitive this season's going to be.
Without a doubt, and we did learn this week War Memorial Stadium will be available for the soccer season. They have moved that artificial resurfacing project back to the summertime. It's going to be a very tight window, but let's hope they can get it done. If it's not done in time for football, we're going to hear about it. That's all we have for you this week. Tune in next week and send us your bobbleheads.